Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everybody. Welcome to this class. So let us begin. Mangalacharan. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Harihi Om Tatsat Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopatanujaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamakyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyatya Desha Tarine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swaminiti Namini Namacharya Padaya Nitaya Padaya Gauravadhamadaya Nagaragaptaya Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, everyone. So today we're going to do Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 2, chapter number 2. The name of the chapter is The Lord in the Heart. So today's class is going to be very deeply absorbing and a very spiritual experience. So I request all of you to be very attentive and relish this Srimad Bhagavatam. It's giving such important transcendental information to the humanity at large. So everybody is looking after spirituality. You see, a lot of people say, I want to be spiritual, I don't want to be religious. I'm a spiritual person. Everybody is trying to do their own way of spirituality. Some people do meditation, some people do different kinds of practices, right? But Srimad Bhagavatam is like a definitive guide given by the expert transcendentalist, Shukadeva Goswami himself. When an expert is speaking, we must hear. So the topmost transcendentalist, the son of Vyasadeva is speaking. And he is giving this process to another great devotee, not an ordinary soul, Parikshit Maharaj. So their conversation is certainly a very important conversation, right? So we have seen so far what has happened. Parikshit Maharaj has been cursed to die in the next 7 days by a snake bird. It's going to bite him and he's going to die. He knows that. And he decides to give up everything away and to fast until death. And he goes to the banks of river Ganges, to the outskirts of Hastinapura. And he just simply waits for his death to come. At that point of time, so many sages from all over the universe assemble there to witness the passing away of this great devotee, the grandson of Arjuna, and Vishnurata. His name is also called Vishnurata because he was protected by Lord Vishnu when he was in the womb of his mother. Such a great devotee is going to pass away. And Srimad Bhagavatam is going to be emanating from the lips of Sri Shukadeva Goswami. Such a wonderful occasion that no transcendentalist would like to miss this kind of an occasion. Just want to be there. So, afterwards, all the sages have assembled and Parikshit Maharaj started asking everybody, "Oh, my dear sages, please tell me, what is my duty now? I am going to pass away in another 7 days and 7 nights. How do I go back to Godhead? And what is the duty for people in general? And what is the duty of a dying person? I want to know this." Then nobody is able to answer him. And then Sri Shukadeva Goswami walks in. Right? So the grand entry of Shukadeva Goswami, he appears to be a madman. Right? He's a 16-year-old boy. He's naked, and everybody is thinking he's mad. Right? When he enters inside the assembly, all the sages pay their respects. Everybody stands up and pays, obeisances to him. Then people realize, those who are chasing the Shukadeva Goswami, thinking that he's a mad person, they realize, oh my God, he's such a great person. We thought he's mad. And then Shukadeva Goswami royally sits down in the asana. And everybody is keen to now hear from Shukadeva Goswami. Right? Shukadeva Goswami, if you recollect, he's not an ordinary soul. As soon as he was born from the womb of his mother, he walked into the forest. And his father, Vyasadeva, who is the author of Vedanta Sutras, he is running behind his son, shouting, "Oh my dear son, please wait." But Shukadeva Goswami is not even turning his head backwards. He's just simply walking towards the forest. This Shukadeva Goswami is the same personality who does not stay in one place for a long time. Know how much time he stays in one place? As much as time it would require to milk a cow. He would go to a Grihastha's house and he would beg for alms, specifically only for milk, nothing else. Whatever milk has been freshly milked, that he will take and he will leave that place. He will not stay in one place more than that time also. That is his level of transcendental realization. Now he is being questioned by Parikshit Maharaj. First of all, being welcomed by him. "Oh, such a great fortune. Simply by thinking about you, our house become purified. And I have personal opportunity to serve you. This is amazing. I cannot believe this. Such a great fortune that you have come to personally instruct me. Amazing. So kindly answer my questions. What is the duty of a person who is about to be dying? What is the duty of people in general? What is the highest, greatest good that we can do for ourselves? What is that single activity? Whom should I hear about? Whom should I meditate upon? Whom should I chant about? Then Shukadeva Goswami, he starts his discourse by first of all condemning the material life. By saying that person who has been given a human form of life must not waste his time in materialism, in family maintenance. Nidraya hrayate naktam vyavayena cha vavayaha nidraya hrayate vyaktam naktam vyavayena cha vavayah divachaya ya rajan kutumba bharane nava. So envious householder is simply wasting time. The morning he is maintaining his family. Divachaya haya rajan kutumba bharane nava nidraya hrayate naktam. And in the night is simply passing away the time by sleeping and sex indulgence. So this kind of materialistic householder life is verily condemned. Shukadeva Goswami starts from there. And he says that an intelligent person must not be a Gruhamedi, but try to be a Grihastha. That is, even though a householder, he must be having a spiritual life. That is the correct life. And why are you bothered? You have 7 days to live. What is the use of even 100 years or 1000 years if it does not have self-realization? It is useless. Just one moment of pure consciousness is enough. Right? And he explains the story of Khatvanga. He could go back to Godhead in just one moment by meditating upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He transferred himself to the Supreme Abode. I explained that story and said, but you have 7 days and 7 nights. Then why are you bothered? And then he explains that one must always remember Krishna's stories and meditate upon him, chant his glories and worship him. This is the highest good that one person can do to himself. So now, Shukadeva Goswami in the chapter number 2, he is explaining about how to meditate upon the Virat Purusha. In the previous chapter, he explained about what is this Virat Purusha? Incarnation. It's not exactly an incarnation, but it's like an imaginary form, right? Where the Virat Purusha has been described. Various parts of his body are described, right? So, for example, he explains about the Virat Purusha and relationship with the 14 planetary systems. Virat Purusha and his relationship with the 4 social orders. That is a gigantic conception of the personality of Godhead. Right? This is the conception that is recommended for the impersonalist. So let us begin today's chapters, verses. So the first verse for the day is as follows. Shri Shuka Vacha Evam Puradharanayatmayonirnashtam Smritim Pratyavaruddhatushtat Tatha Sasarjedam Amoga Drishtir Yatapyayat Pravyavasaya Buddhi. Sri Shukadeva Goswami said, formerly, prior to the manifestation of the cosmos, Lord Brahma, by meditating on the Virat Purusha, Virat Rupa, regained his lost consciousness by appeasing the Lord. Thus, he was able to rebuild the creation as it was before. So, what happened was, at the night of Brahma, entire universe will be withdrawn, and all the living entities, including Lord Brahma, will enter inside Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. So, after this night is over, that is one kalpa, 1000 Chaturyugas, that is 432 crore years of time. That is one night of Brahma. Again, the day of Brahma will come. And Brahma, when he comes out of the lotus flower generated from the navel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he gets confused what I have to do. He forgets what was my purpose. Just like, we wake up in the morning and then we forget what I was doing yesterday. I was doing something. I wanted to do something yesterday night. Let me recollect. Yeah. I want to do this, right? Yeah, I have so many works to do. Oh, okay, let me get ready. So like that, Brahmaji is in forgetfulness. So Brahmaji is the incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the mode of passion, Rajogun. So the living entities are also in forgetfulness. Right now, we have forgotten our purpose. Just like a person with Alzheimer's disease or with some kind of forgetfulness, completely forgotten. Sometimes, person with a disease of forgetfulness, they'll go outside and they'll forget. They'll forget their address, they'll forget their name. Somebody has to guide them back home. Then afterwards, you have to remind them that, oh, you are this, you are this. Oh, I was this. Oh. Like that. Living entity forgets. We are in deep slumber and we've forgotten. Our goal we have forgotten. From where we have come, we've forgotten. All the suffering that we underwent in the previous lifetimes, we forgot. And again, we started with the romantic conception of the material world. Let me enjoy this world. We started this again out of illusion. So for such people, including Lord Brahma, the recommendation was meditation upon the Virat Rupa, that is the universal conception of the universal form. These can revive our pure consciousness. Brahmaji, when he meditated upon Lord, the Virat Rupa, he was able to remember his form, his duty, and he was able to resume it. So similarly, living entities also, if they meditate upon the Virat Rupa, they will come back to pure consciousness. Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha guru nandana. That means, person who is in the Krishna consciousness, his mind is focused. Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha guru nandana is focused on the Supreme. He knows his goal. What is the purpose of life? He knows. But what about others? Bahushaka ki anantascha buddhayo avyavasayinam. The others who are not in Krishna consciousness, Bahushaka hi anantascha, multi-branched, infinite number of thoughts. Right? People are interested in so many subject matters. And if you open the newspaper, there are so many sections. Politics, crime news, Bollywood news, so many sections. Bahushaka hi anantascha buddhayo avyavasayinam. Not in Krishna consciousness, so many multi-branches to think about. Right? So many things to hear about. Right? Because of not knowing the Atma Tattva, not knowing the Tattva of the spirit soul, not understanding the spiritual values of life. So liberation means getting out of slumber and starting to serve the Supreme Personality of God. But somehow there is a belief that liberation means inaction. Means if I just stop all my duties and if I sit like a bum, doing nothing, like a parasite in the society, then I am liberated. Then everybody should worship me. This is absolutely trash. That is not liberation. Liberation means action in Krishna consciousness. Means serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, Supreme Personality of Godhead is there and his illusory energy is there. As long as we are serving his illusory energy, we are not liberated, we are conditioned. As soon as we start to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, 100%, that means liberation. Let's go to the next verse. Shabdasya hi brahmana esha pantha. Shabdasya hi brahmana esha pantha yannam abhidhyayati dhira partai. Paribhramam statra navinda tirthan maya mayeva sanaya shayana. The way of presentation of the Vedic sounds is so bewildering that it directs the intelligence of the people to meaningless things like heavenly kingdoms. The conditioned soul hovers in the dreams of such heavenly illusory pleasures, but actually does not relish any tangible happiness in such places. So, particularly in this verse, what is being said is, Shabdasya hi brahmana yesha panta, yannama dhiyati dhir apartai. Paribrahmastatra na vindatirthan. That means, even in the Vedic literature also, there is a lot of description about how to attain the heavenly planets. So how to go to the moon planet, how to go to the heavenly planets and enjoy their materialistic pleasure. What are the fire sacrifices for doing? Agnishtoma Homa, like that. So these are all bewildering for a less intelligent person. Those people who want to go to heaven and enjoy, they are not very intelligent, right? Because the intelligent person does not actually relish any happiness there, because there is no tangible happiness there. So it's like this, no? People in the villages, they want to come to the city. People in the cities, they want to go to the metropolitan city. People in the metropolitan city, they want to go to some very nice foreign countries. And because there is a perception that there is a better standard of living, there is better metro, better roads, better traffic, better houses, better sofa cushion to sit. It's very soft, very nice. Bigger TV, wow. But actually there is no tangible happiness. Sofa can be very soft, mattress can be very soft. But if there is no peace of mind in the heart, what is the use? And I'm sleeping on a very soft cushion, silk sofa, silk mattress. But I open my mobile phone and I'm seeing the stock market crash. Finished. What is the use of such kind of happiness? Okay. So that is why Krishna says, Ashantasya kutas sukham. Person who doesn't have peace, how can he be happy? I mean, I'm talking about the materialistic world here. And within, this is the world that we know. This is an earthly planet. Human beings, we can travel from one place to another city, better country. Okay, fine. You can also go to other planets also. Now, with the process that is given in the Vedas, you can go to other planets where the standard of living is much higher than what you can even imagine in the best of the cities of the world. But even that is useless. That's what is being said here. Because Krishna said so. Abrahma bhuvana loka punaravarti norjuna. It's Abrahma bhuvana loka. Even if you go to Brahma loka also, forget about Swarga. Swarga is only the third one. Brahma loka is seventh planetary system. Much higher. Much better standard of living. Punaravarti norjuna. The same problems. Birth, death, old age and disease. Punaravarti norjuna. Again you have to come. Mamupetya tu kaunteya dukkalayam shashvatam napnuvanti. So, but if we go back to Krishna's world is not a heavenly planet. That we have to understand. So Krishna's world, we may think, oh, is it like some kind of a better place? Okay, maybe better. Okay, maybe it's just some kind of heaven where God is in heaven. No, that's not a heaven. That is much better than heaven. It's a spiritual world where there is no materialistic activity at all. There is only one activity. That is the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So all the living entities, they are like small children playing this giant wheel merry-go-round, right? So going up, going down, up and down and up and down. So as they're giving up their body, they're going through this entire circle, right? So sometimes they'll get the post of Indra also. And then again, they'll fall down to human being, again go to the animal species of life, transmigrate from one species of life to another, again become Indra, again become human. What is this? Right? This is not real happiness. Right? So Shukadeva Goswami is saying, don't go to such places. Don't get distracted by such things. Even Bhagavad Gita also, Lord Krishna tells the same thing to Arjuna. Veda avadarata partha nanyadastiti vadina. Now, those people who are Vedic Pandits, they're reading the 4 Vedas, which is filled with the description of these yajnas. And particularly the description of the yajnas which are giving materialistic results. And when they read these descriptions, they say, Wow, I want to go there. Nanyata sthiti vadina. Oh, there is nothing like that. Best, I want that. I want to go there. Right? Krishna says they are not very intelligent. Because Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam taya pakrita chetasa. Means if you are indulging in sense gratification, it is not possible to become Krishna conscious. If you are not becoming Krishna conscious, it is not possible to go back to Godhead. If you cannot go back to Godhead, it is simply nothing but a repetition of birth, death, old age and disease. A repetition of suffering. So therefore, Shukadeva Goswami said, don't get distracted. Let's go to the next verse. Ata kavirnam Ata kavirnam asuyavadarta syada pramato vyavasaya buddhi siddhenyatarte najate tatatra parishramam tatra shamikshamaanaha. For this reason, the enlightened person should endeavor only for minimum necessities of life. While in the world of names, he should be intelligently fixed and never endeavor for unwanted things, being competent to perceive practically that all such endeavors are merely hard labor for nothing. Very, very interesting verse. So enlightened people, they should not be endeavoring for the unnecessary things. Right? It's called prayas. Right? Endeavoring for something very big. I mean, the people who are ready to spend 5 years, 10 years, 20 years in pursuit of something, some kind of materialistic goal. I want to build a house. I want to do this. 20 years, 30 years, already lifespan is so small and there's no guarantee that we'll get the human birth again. And if we waste in such useless activities, what is the benefit? Right? So that is why the recommendation is Atak Kavir Nama Suyabadartha Syad Apramatto Vyavasaya Buddhi. Enlightened person should endeavor only for minimum necessities of life. While in the world of names, so much of meaning is there in Bhagavatam. Every word we can analyze and we can just go on and on and on and on. There's so much to learn. 100% spiritual. If anybody is really interested in spirituality, they must read Srimad Bhagavatam. And Kimva Pare, what is the use of other books? There is no need. There cannot be any better book than Srimad Bhagavatam. So amazing. Right? So this is the world of names. Right? Just like in companies, they do this trick. What do they do? They'll have different titles. They'll have something like associate, assistant, lead. Like that, they'll have 10 names. So every year they'll say, hey, congratulations, you got promoted for your hard work that you've done. Really? Wow. Thank you, sir. So how much hike will I get? Well, there's no hike. It's just the name change. Oh, fine. No problem. My name has changed. I'll put it in my signature, email signature. Wow. My name has changed. My role has changed. I've become from associate to assistant. Yes. So this is called the world of names. This is simply illusion. Simply we give some name for everything. It's like, the different ranks that are given for, the security forces. This star, this star, this star. Or just like, in the cricket sports, they give, this is premium. This is diamond. This is silver. This is gold. Wow. I've become diamond now. For this, I'll spend all my life. So this is foolishness. Right? Should never endeavor for unwanted things. Right? So basically, devotees know this. They don't waste their time in futile, fruitive activities. Because this whole world is not a comfortable place to live in. I may try to make it comfortable. I'm trying every day very hard. I'll make it more comfortable. I'll make it more comfortable. Let me bring in more comforts. But there is no use. Discomfort will come automatically. I don't want the discomfort to come, but it will come. Why we should simply struggle? It's a simply jugglery of names, different names, different names, this, that. Simply names. Actual reality, there is nothing. It's just like a babble of sea waves, right? There is What is the reality of that kind of thing? So the fruity workers, they aspire for big fortune, wealth, women, fame. Every child, in school, they think, the dream. Yes, I can see myself in a very big bungalow. I'll have a lot of wealth. I'll have all my family, all my friends will be praising me. Wow. Right. And they waste their time, all the valuable life, in pursuit of that happiness, and there is no guarantee. And how many are succeeding, first of all? Okay, everybody is dreaming. 6 billion people, all of them are dreaming the same thing. Everybody wants to become the richest person in the earth. How many of them have become the richest person? Despite of all their endeavors, my question is, have all of them become? Okay. Or how much percentage of them have actually become very rich? It is all based on karma. If there is no karma, there's no use. I mean, how much ever you endeavor, there's no use. Just like, the fruity worker, the laborers are also working very hard. Just because you are working very hard doesn't mean that, you'll become very rich. Not necessary. If that was the case, then why are so many people poor in the world? Is it that they do not want to become rich? Of course, everybody wants to become rich. So, but an intelligent person doesn't go behind this. How much ever necessary, we accept. Use the time carefully, because even 1 second is lost also, you cannot replace it. Even if you have $1 million also, get back the last second, get back the last minute. We started the class at 6:45 a.m. Can you go back to 6:45? No, the time is gone. Right? So human life is meant for self-realization. If human life was meant for sitting on soft cushions and giving nice sensual pleasure, such kind of pleasure is available even for the animals. Then why we need a human form of life for that? Actually, they have better sensual enjoyments also. There are no restrictions also for them. So then, Paramatma, Super Soul, who is in the heart of everybody, he will transfer us to the animal body if we are seeking only animalistic pleasure. Human life is meant for a higher purpose. We have higher intelligence. Higher intelligence doesn't mean I will eat better, sleep better, or mate better, or defend better. Eating, mating, sleeping, and defending. No, that's not higher intelligence purpose. Purpose of higher intelligence is to think about the higher truth, the absolute truth. Who am I? What is my relationship with the Supreme? Am I the body at all? This is what we are supposed to be thinking. What am I supposed to be doing to become realized? Next verse. Satyam chitau kim kashipo prayasair bahau swasiddhehi upabarhanai kim satyanjalau kim purudana patraya digval kaladau satikim dukulai. When there are ample earthly flat beds to lie on, what is the necessity of cots and beds? When one can use his own arms, what is the necessity of a pillow? When one can use the palms of his hands, what is the necessity of varieties of utensils? When there is ample covering or the skins of the tree, what is the necessity of clothing? So this we have to reflect. So there are so many animals, right? And their population is much more than that. Us, we are thinking like, oh, human beings, 8 billion people. Lot of population is there. No. The animal population runs into trillions. All the animals are living happily, right? They are not working very hard like us, right? And they are not building big houses, skyscraper buildings, big furniture. They are not dreaming for big cars, nothing. They are leading a healthy and happy life, aren't they? And there are so many. See, if you want to sleep, all you need is good sleep. That's all. You don't need even a soft cushion bed also. You see, the brahmacharis, they sleep on simple yoga mat kind of a thing, right? Some packing material that is used in the lorries. So it's like some kind of yoga mats we get, no? That's like they're a little bit soft. That's it. They put that on the ground and they sleep on that. Actually, it makes sense. And the reason is, morning when it is Brahmamurta time, we must get out of the bed. We don't want a sleep well mattress. And I want to be cushioned in the mattress and nicely sleep until it's 7 o'clock, it's 8 o'clock. Okay, it's fine. Okay, if we can 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, it's bad for our health also. As per Ayurveda, it is said, after sunrise, if you sleep, the duration of our life will be removed by the sun. That means we are actually cutting our duration of life. It's very bad. You see, kapha will come inside our body. It's bad as per health also. And is it possible also in material world to sleep like that? If you are a child, parents will wake you up. Get up, school time, go to exam, get up. Or if you're young, you'll get a call from your boss. Where are you? You have not come to the meeting yet. The meeting is started. Oh, sir, I'm getting ready. It's not possible. So this kind of sleeping on a sleep well cushion mattress is not a great thing to do. It's very materialistic. So there is a earthly flat bed is there. Then why there is need of a big cushion, big cots? Why I should spend lakhs of money on big cots and dream to build such houses with so many beds and cots? Where sleeping only is condemned, only just necessary sleeping is necessary. How much ever is necessary, we take and leave. Why we should dream about such a house and with so many beds, soft beds? And when our own arms are there, what is the necessity of pillow? So many people, they sleep on their arm. So it's such a soft pillow or hands, right? Actually, pillow is also not written. Arms are only so soft, so nice to sleep on. And what is the necessity of utensils when we have palms? Right? And when there is the skin of trees, what is the necessity of clothing also? So, of course, it doesn't mean that we become, we just run naked in the jungles. That's not what Shukadeva Goswami is trying to say here. So he's just trying to condemn the materialistic mindset. Our mindset of buying new clothes, right? So I want to buy the trending clothes from a mall, right? From this fashion designer, this very famous design. Okay, I'll wear some designer wear. So this is really not required. All we need is a dress, right? Simple dress. It can be a simple cotton dress, right? I mean, at least we should remember this, right? This is called Valkala. That is, in the earlier days, the people who used to go to the forest, that is Vanaprasthas and Sannyasis, those who live in the forest, they will not buy this cotton dress also. What they will do? There is certain kind of a dress that can be prepared from the bark of the tree. From the bark of the tree, they prepare some kind of orange kind of dress. Even in Africa, even now they prepare that kind of dress. It's available. This is prepared from it's an orange saffronish color. So they just wrap it around, with that kind of a dress. It's called Valkal. It's like Lord Ramchandra wore that, when he went to exile. That dress, bark of the tree, right? So that's a very nice dress. Yeah? It's very high quality, high standard. Wash it. It's very, very good. Very durable. Better than jeans. Better than anything. It doesn't tear off. Very nice. Yeah? So what is the necessity of fashion, clothing, and why to artificially inflate our lifestyle to buy such costly, expensive dresses and so many dresses, right? For every occasion. Oh, it's my birthday. Oh, this is my husband's birthday. Oh, my child's birthday. Oh, this is my anniversary. Oh, this is Sankranti. Something like that. Every occasion buying hundreds of dresses, and the dresses won't be used also. They'll be simply sitting in the wardrobe. Is it not? So better is to use our mind rather than thinking about this body which is temporary, decorating the dead body. We can think about the spirit soul within us. We can think about Krishna. Use this body for higher thoughts, higher purposes. Right? So human body is supposed to be used for intelligence in art, science, poetry, philosophy. Reserve the energy for self-realization. We have very limited energy. That's the point. We don't have infinite energy. Okay, if we have infinite lifetime, infinite energy, fine. Let us use it for, for example, this Satyuga, they used to live for 1 lakh years. If you have 1 lakh years at your disposal, okay, 10,000 years be materialistic. Okay, 50,000 years be materialistic. 75,000 years be materialistic. But unfortunately, Kali Yuga, lifespan is only 100. And 100 also, Prayena Alpayusha Sabhya. We never know when that person will die also. Any moment a person in Kali Yuga can die. There's no guarantee. Right from a small baby to an old man, there is no certain age that this person will die out of. Some rare disease will come. No disease also will come. Suddenly that person will pass away. Right? So when time itself is so less, why we are just simply wasting time? So reserve the energy, whatever we have, for self-realization, because that's the highest good that we can do. We can transfer ourselves to the spiritual planets, go back to God. Then there is no more suffering. Or else if we don't do that, we'll have to keep doing the same thing again and again. How many times will we do the same thing? Punascharvita charvanana, repeating the same thing, chewing the chewed. There's no point in that. You know, the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, they were the disciples of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. They were high-ranked ministers in Bengal. Big ministers. And you know how much money they had? We can't even imagine how much money and how rich they were. Unimaginable. Even if we work for multiple lifetimes also, we will not be able to earn so much as how rich they are, the Goswamis. And they were very intelligent, very scholarly, very rich. But when they met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they gave up everything. And they surrendered to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and they were living in the Vrindavana. And they were living under one tree. They did not even stay under one tree for more than 2 days. Because they don't want to become attached to that place also. That this is my tree, that is your tree. How dare you come to my tree? You're sleeping under my tree. This is my tree. No. They don't want to do that. Right? That's materialistic. So that is, I mean, how are they able to do that? These Goswamis. Right? So, the opportunities are given. In Sanatana Dharma, it is a very wonderfully designed system. So, people from the West are able to appreciate our Indian values because they see that our society is designed around self-realization. Every ritual, every activity that we are doing is taking us towards self-realization. But we are doing it just like a ritual and we are staying away from self-realization. But our society is that of knowledge and self-realization and renunciation. Right from beginning. It starts from the brahmacharya, where a child goes to Gurukula and serves the spiritual master in such an austere conditions. Till the vanaprastha and sannyasa, the retired life and the renounced life. There are so many opportunities to renounce. At least in the beginning, we can renounce. Or at least in the end, we can renounce. Opportunity is there. Chirani kimpanti nasanti dishanti bhiksham naivangripa parabhuta saritopya chushan ruddha guha kimajito vatinaupasannan kasmaj vajanti kavayo dhanadhurmadhandan. Are there no torn clothes lying on the common road? Do the trees which exist for maintaining others no longer give alms in charity? Do the rivers being dried up no longer supply water to the thirsty? Are the caves to the mountains now closed? Or above all, does the Supreme Lord not protect the fully surrendered souls? Why do these learned sages go to flatter those who are intoxicated by hard-earned wealth? Shukadeva Goswami is talking about those people who are in the renounced order of life, the sannyasis. So let us discuss about what is this sannyasis and what are their duties. So the point that Shukadeva Goswami is trying to say is, if a person is renounced, then let him stay renounced. Why is he going to serve the rich people? I mean, he has renounced the entire world for spiritualism and ultimately going to rich people for donation and begging for money. What is this? This is wrong. And there are so many natural resources for the renounced person to use. There are torn clothes lying on the common road. You can wash them and use it. The trees are there which can give food. Why the need of begging? Rivers are there to give water. Caves are there to stay, houses. Then why we should take shelter, or these renounced people should take shelter of the intoxicated people who are mad with wealth. So, renounced order of life or sannyasa, he's not a parasite. Actually. He's not supposed to be a parasite. That, he just given up everything like a beggar, and he does nothing which is valuable for the society, and simply sucking the resources of the society and enjoying a comfortable life. No, this is not the purpose of a renounced order of life. It is meant for contributing something great to the society, something the materialistic people are not able to give. The renounced order of life must be giving. So that's what, the 6 Goswamis who have given up all their position of the great as their great ministers to the Nawab Hussain Shah, they have contributed immense transcendental literature to the world that we are able to make use of. Just like the Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, written by Rupa Goswami, which gives us a definitive textbook of how to do devotional service. Like that, they have written so many books. And there are so many books which they have also hidden, you see. Some books, they said, we have written all these books, but people do not even have the level to understand this. So it is better that they remain under the Samadhi. So there are some books, so many books are available for us. There are some books which they have hidden also, because our mental makeup is not ready for reading such books. So much of transcendental literature they have given us about Radha and Krishna. So much of information like never before has come out. So, the sannyasa order of life, they are meant to be serving the society by uplifting them spiritually. Right? And they go to houses for begging, not for taking food, but for giving association, for giving some spiritual advice to the householders. So that is why Sanatana Dharma has been designed very logically. It's so logical. So the Grihastha Ashrama is supposed to be taking care of the renounced order and the brahmacharis. Just like children. Somebody comes to the door, a sannyasi is coming to the door and begging, we are supposed to be giving them food. But this position of the sannyasis and the brahmacharis and the brahmanas has been taken by the beggars now in Kali Yuga. So we see some sycophants who are begging in the name of religion, who don't want to do anything the whole day, but just begs for some money and eat some food and drink some intoxication. And this is not the human society that was designed by Supreme Personality of God. So householder means they must give charity to the sannyasis. Right? And these Goswamis of Vrindavana, they used to hold such wonderful discourses at Seva Kunj. In Vrindavan, there is a place, Seva Kunj, where Rupa Goswami Mandir, this Samadhi Mandir is there. Right? That is called Radha Damodar Mandir. If anybody has visited, Srila Prabhupada Bhajan Kutir is also there. Right? So, Haridas Thakur, for example, right? He was living a perfect life, whatever is explained here by Shukadeva Goswami. He used to live in a cave fearlessly. Abhayam Sattva Samsuddhi. Abhayam. That is the first, Abhayam is the first quality of a renounced person. Fearless. Chanting 23 hours, 22 hours a day, fearlessly sleeping in a cave. And there used to be a venomous serpent in the cave. But all the associates of Charidas Thakur, they used to become scared. They used to say, we won't come to your place. There is a venomous snake who is sleeping along with you. We can't come there. Then when the snake heard this, that people are complaining, then it silently left. From Sanatana Goswami's cave, which he was, Haridas Thakur's cave, where he was living with a venomous snake as a co-partner. Next verse. Evam svachitte svatayeva siddha atma priyorta bhagavan ananta tam nivrito nityarto bhajeta samsara hetura paramscha yatra. Thus being fixed, one must render service unto the super soul situated in one's own heart by his omnipotency. Because he is the almighty personality of Godhead, eternal and unlimited. He is the ultimate goal of life, and by worshipping him, one can end the cause of the conditioned state of existence. So, what is the conclusion of this? that Shukadeva Goswami is condemning the material life and recommending a spiritual life. He's saying, become fixed and render service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why should you render service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Because if you render service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it will end the conditioned state of existence. And we can go to the liberated state of existence. From being a Nitya Baddha, we can become a Nitya Siddha. From being eternally conditioned soul, we can become eternally liberated soul. That is possible by worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the value that we get. Eternal, lifetime value, not lifetime, forever. We have an eternal life. This life is not all in all. So living entity must render service. We are meant to be rendering service to the Supreme Lord, not asking for service, but in illusion, we are asking service. Let's say, hey, why did you not do that? You're supposed to be my spouse. You must be working for me. You didn't do this. 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 That's like children complaining to their parents. You didn't give me this. You didn't give me this. You didn't give me this. You didn't take care of me. What is this? This is illusion. We are seeking service. We are supposed to be rendering service to the Supreme Lord. We are working for temporary relationships and body. Body itself is temporary. What to talk about the relationships which are coming along with the body? When a person dies, when the soul leaves the body, there is no relation between that soul and the body any longer. That body is finished. It's no longer his. Then what to talk about all the relatives who he thinks they are mine? Oh, my relatives, my relatives. They are all related to the body. They're not related to the soul, right? What is the use? It is like running after water inside a desert. That's what the people in the world are doing. No, in the desert, I'll run here and there all the day. I will run, and I'll just get some water. Little bit, somewhere it will be there. Some oasis will be there. Little bit. I'll drink some water and go. But actually, we are very thirsty. We need an ocean. We're looking for ocean. But all we are finding is a drop. So material life is like that. Spiritual life is seeking for an ocean. Anandambudhi Vartanam, eternal life. Right? No more birth and death. Right? No more suffering. So actually there's no need to go anywhere also. That's what Shukadeva Goswami is saying here. Because he's saying that the Supreme Lord is situated in our own heart. You know, just like there was one person who was searching for a key. Everywhere he was searching. Everywhere he was searching. But actually it is in his pocket only. Right? So, like that, one day I was searching for my spectacles everywhere. And somebody told me, you are already wearing it. I said, oh, it's here only. So, it's like that, you know, Paramatma is situated with right in our heart. And we are looking for happiness everywhere in the world. We want to go on vacation to far distant place and try to enjoy. But actually we get suffering after going there. We get a new disease. After coming back 2-3 weeks, we'll be suffering out of ill health. Or our passport will be lost. Right? Or some police case will happen there. Some terrible thing will happen. Some nonsense will happen and we'll feel, oh, I'll never go to any place again. Why did I even think of... There's no need to go anywhere, Baba. Krishna is there inside our heart. So, we just have to sit down and render service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Of course, it doesn't mean that don't go to the temple. Okay, I understood. Shukadeva Goswami said, Krishna is there in my heart. Oh, these people who are fools who are going to the temple, they are less than things. No. Yes, this temple is for the common man, for giving them knowledge about the transcendental knowledge. Right? It's like a center for learning. Right? If the temples are not there, and if even if the temples or any kind of religious places are there, but if they're not teaching any spiritual values, if they're not teaching the science of Godhead, that is the science, transcendental science, if they're not teaching, then the whole world will become godless and it will become a hellish existence. Right? So there needs to be religion, there needs to be religious places of worship, and the common man, they need to go there and they need to connect with the Supreme Lord in the form of the deity. And they're supposed to be hearing something. Temple means some activity, some hearing, you know, it should be there. Cannot be just simply, you know, people are coming and going. Right? Kastvam tvanandritya paranuchintam mrite pashuna satim nama kuryat Pashyan janam patitam vaitaranyam swakarmajan paritapanjushanam. Who else but the gross materialistic person will neglect such transcendental thought and take to the non-permanent names only, seeing the mass of people fallen in the river of suffering as the consequences of accruing the result of their own work? This is such a serious shloka. Very critical. It says, Kastvam tu anadritya paranuchintam. Who is that fool who will neglect this knowledge that I am telling here? This is giving transcendental life free of any kind of miseries, which will give an eternal life. A real transcendental master. The master is speaking. And if somebody is not listening, it is their mistake. It's their loss. That's it. Unless somebody is very, very grossly materialistic, they will neglect this message of Bhagavatam. It's just like, what do you say? Pashyan janam patitam vaitaranyam. So there is a river called Vaitarani. In the banks, in the material world, there is a river called Vaitarani, which is on the banks of the abode of Yamadharmaraja. So we are working very hard in pursuit of happiness, and we want to earn money because, my siblings are doing better than me. This is my motivation. Or my neighbor is doing better than me. So, but because of lack of karma, I am not getting the success. So now I want to do some immoral activity also. Chalta hai, let's do it. Come on. It's okay. Do it. Let us get more money. Come on. I have to become rich. And as a result of that, we have to suffer hellish life also. We have to be transferred to hell also. What is the fun? Not able to be happy in this world also. Working very hard after some result which is not coming. And because of doing these activities, accumulating so many sinful activities and going to hell and suffering in the hell. What is the use? Right? So there's a gross materialistic people. So there is a hint at demigod worship here in this verse. Because grossly materialistic people, they think that religion is a means of sense gratification. So what are the tools and frameworks inside the religion that can help me attain my ambitions? What is that shortcut? Is it an astrology? Can I go to an astrologer? Can I do some kind of a puja? Tell me which demigod worship I can do. What is the result of worshipping this? What is the benefit of doing this vrata for the demigod? Oh, yes, let me do it. This is what I want. But it is said that it is like animal taken to a slaughterhouse. So if a goat will be following the butcher, and the butcher will simply slaughter it. So demigod worship is also like that. Because we are distracted from the supreme goal. If you're getting distracted from the message of Bhagavad Gita to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, what Shukadeva Goswami is not saying, do demigod worship. He is not saying that. Demigod worship is for less intelligent people. Krishna says, Kamaisthaiste Rithagnana Prapadyante Anya Devata Tam Niyama Mastaya Prakritya Niyata Swaya. Those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires surrender unto demigods. Kamaistha is there. Kama means unlimited desire and longing. I want this, I want that. The list is never ending. It's just burning like fire. And list will grow. My list will be growing year after year. 2023, my wish list. 2024, wish list, much bigger. 2025, 5 times bigger. 2026, 10 times bigger. Now my list is growing. But my capacity, capability, skills, they are not growing. Then naturally I will go to demigod worship. I want something short, fast, quick. Who can give me? I'll go to him. Right? This result is temporary. Antavattu phalam tesham tadbhavatyalpam edasam devan devaja jojanti madbhakta yanti mamapi. Men of small intelligence worship the demigod, and the fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planet of demigods. But my devotees attain to the spiritual goal. That's what Krishna is saying. So we should not go behind these temporary results. So therefore, the transcendentalists, as far as they are concerned, they don't go behind this demigod worship. They are concerned about Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan, the different features of the Supreme Personality of God. Impersonal Brahman, or the localized super soul Paramatma, or the Supreme Personality of Bhagavan Krishna. So step by step, Shukadeva Goswami is taking towards us. Listen to this attentively. What is he saying? He's recommending the meditation of the Virat Rupa. Virat Rupa meditation is the universal form. The universal form, he says meditate upon that. Now he's talking about the Paramatma meditation. He's talking about, see, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is pervading everywhere in the form of impersonal Brahman. Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat abjekta murtina. That we can conceptualize with the help of Virat Purusha Rupa. Fine. Better than that is meditating upon the transcendental form of the Lord. That is the Paramatma. Right? That is a four-handed form of the Lord.
Sandeep?
Hare Krishna.
Sandeep?
Okay. So here we have Paramatma meditation is better than one step higher than Virat Rupa meditation. Right? We will come to that. Virat Rupa meditation is meant for the beginners. That is for the impersonalists and for the voidists and for those who are atheists or who don't believe in God or who think that God is void. For them, Virat Purusha Rupa meditation has been described. First step. Next step is Paramatma. Paramatma is what he's telling right now. Right? Let's see that. Kechit svadehantar hridaya vakshakshase pradeshe matram purusham vasantam chaturbhujam kanjaratanga shankha gadadharam dharanaya smaranti. Please pay attention, very important. Others conceive of the personality of Godhead residing within the body in the region of the heart and measuring only 8 inches with 4 hands, carrying a lotus, a wheel of the chariot, a conch shell and a club respectively, Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. Who is wearing this Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma? The 4 paraphernalia of Lord Vishnu. Right? So this is about the Paramatma. So far he has been speaking about, the first recommendation was, he described the Virat Purusha and he said, meditate upon the Virat Purusha. Now he's talking about the Paramatma. Paramatma resides in the heart. You know, the size is 8 inches. You know, you just take your ring finger. You take your ring finger and till the end of the thumb. What is the size? 8 inches. 8 inches. This is the size of Paramatma inside our heart. Right? So this is the description that they have given here. Right? Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. Right? So this is the form of a Lord. There are 4, right? Shankha means conch shell. Chakra means chariot wheel. That chariot wheel is nothing but the time, actually, the wheel of time. You see? Sudarshana Chakra it is. Right? And Gada is a club. Kaumudiki. Right? With which is, you know, it is said that Kaumudiki is wet with fresh blood of demons. Right? So that is Kaumudiki. And Padma, Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. Padma is one lotus flower he's holding in his hand. It's looking very beautiful here, right? So Lord, just by making different combinations of these 4 items, we can get 24 different combinations. So these 24 combinations are different plenary portions of the Supreme Lord. Purushottama, Achyuta, Narasimha, Trivikrama, Hrishikesha, Keshava, Madhava, Aniruddha, Pradyumna, like that. Right? So these are all eternal forms of the Lord, and each of this form has one Vaikuntha. Right? So the Lord is the original enjoyer, or he is the Purusha. Now we are going to hear the description of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It just now started. How the Supreme Lord looks. His transcendental Sachidananda Vigraha as Paramatma, how it looks we are seeing now. So we have to visualize. Prasanna Vaktram Nalinaya Kshanam Kadam Bakinjal Kapishanga Vasasam Lasan Maharatna Hiranmayangadam Spuran Maharatna Kirita Kundalam. His mouth expresses his happiness. His eyes spread like the petals of lotus, and his garments yellowish like the saffron of a kadamba flower, are bedecked with valuable jewels. His ornaments are all made of gold, set with jewels, and he wears a glowing headdress and earrings. Such a beautiful description. Prasanna Vaktram. No, he is smiling. Krishna, no, Lord is smiling. His eyes are like Nalinaya Tekshanam, like that of a petals of a lotus flower. And he's wearing yellowish garments. And he's wearing lot of jewels. Maharatna Kirita Kundalam. Very nice Kirita means a big helmet made up of gold and lot of jewelry. And Kundala means earrings. This is how the Lord looks like. Unnidrahrit Pankajakarnikalaye Yogeshwarastapatipada Pallavam Shri Lakshanam Kaustubaratna Kandaram Amlana Lakshmya Vanamalya Chitam. His lotus feet are placed over the walls of the lotus-like hearts of great mystics. On his chest is his Kaustuba jewel, engraved with a beautiful calf. And there are other jewels on his shoulders. His complete torso is garlanded with fresh flowers. So he's garlanded with the fresh flowers. Right? Vanamala. He's called, Krishna is also called as Vanamali. Yamunatira Vanamali. Yes, Vanamala is like beautiful garland made up of flowers from the forest. Freshly picked up flowers from the forest. Right? So he's looking beautiful. Right? And on his chest, Kaustuba jewel is there. Right? So that is very beautiful. Right? What else? And Srivatsa is there. Srivatsa, there is a small engraving on his chest. That is very unique to the Lord. Right? Srivatsa mark. Right? So, and his lotus feet are remembered by yogis. Right? Yogi Hridhyana Gamyam Vande Vishnum Bhavabhayaharam. Yogi Hridhyana. The yogis are remembering about Krishna. Krishna's lotus feet. Vibhushitam me kalayangulikair mahadhanair nupurakankanadibihi snigdham lakahum kunchita neelakuntair virochamana nahasa peshalam. He is well decorated with an ornamental wreath about his waist and rings studded with valuable jewels in his fingers. His leglets, his bangles, his oiled hair curling with a bluish tint, and his beautiful smiling face are all pleasing. This is the transcendental description of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is not imaginary. Why is Shukadeva Goswami saying all this? He is describing with such great detail to teach the impersonalistic people that Supreme Personality of Godhead is not impersonal. He is very much personal. He is Govindam Adi Purusham. Purusha. Purushottama. He is Purusha. Kavim Puranam. Anushasitaram. So he is the Purana Purusha, the oldest. Right? Prapitamaha. He is the father of the grandfather. He is the originating seed of the universe. Right? And he is looking like this, right? Oiled hair, curling with bluish tint. Beautiful smiling face. And his rings, all the fingers are studded with valuable jewels on his fingers. Beautifully decorated. Right? Adina Leela Hasite Kshanolasa Dhrubhanga Samshuchita Bhujanugraham Iksheta Chinta Mayamenamishwaram Yavan Manodharanaya Vatishtate. The Lord's magnanimous pastimes and the glowing glancing of his smiling face are all indications of his extensive benedictions. One must therefore concentrate on this transcendental form of the Lord as long as the mind can be fixed on him by meditation. So, we have to meditate on each of these parts. Right? So, because his smiling face is an indication of his extensive benedictions. Adina Leela Hasitekshan Ollasat. We must try to meditate upon him. Just you should start meditating upon the lotus feet of the Lord. Just now we have heard the description of the Supreme Lord. Try to meditate upon his feet. You should start with the feet, actually. Right? It should not be that, you should not directly go to the face. Right? So it's like that, right? So this is yes. And what happened? Ekaikshanonga nidhyanubhavayet padadiyavadhasitam gadabhritaha jitam jitam sthanam apohya dharayet param param shuddhyati dhiryatha yatha. The process of meditation should begin from the lotus feet of the Lord and progress to his smiling face. So you should start from the feet and slowly try to meditate upon the different limbs of Lord. Coming up to the smiling face. The meditation should be concentrated upon the lotus feet and then the calves and then the thighs and higher and higher and higher. The more the mind becomes fixed upon different limbs or the parts, one after another, the more one's intelligence becomes purified. If you want to purify your senses, what you should do? You must meditate upon the limbs of Lord Vishnu, starting from the lotus feet of the Lord. Right? Actually, there are two types of transcendentalists. One are called Jnanis, other called as Bhaktas. The Jnanis, they maintain that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is impersonal. That is the Brahman realization. That is one feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But if you deny the spiritual form and spiritual qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is it not reducing the power of the Supreme Lord? For example, if you have two bank accounts, okay, half of, let us say, you have invested. I will say that this bank account doesn't belong to you. Then is it not reducing your power by saying so? By denying certain feature of the Lord, is it not an offense? Think about it. When Lord Krishna is himself saying that I am the basis of Brahman, Brahmano hi pratishtaham. And he is telling those people who think that I was not manifested before, I was impersonal before, now I've become personal, they are fools. Krishna is saying very clearly in Bhagavatam. Krishna is very clearly saying impersonal is my form, personal is my form. Then how can we deny personal form? Is this not an offense to the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Right? So the impersonalist therefore undergoes a very difficult program. He wants to first deny the Supreme Personality of Godhead's spiritual potencies and spiritual form. That is why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, 12th chapter, Kleshodikatarastesham avyakta sakta chetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkham dehavadbhiravapyate. Those whose minds are attached to this unmanifested impersonal form, advancement is very troublesome. To make in that progress, in that discipline is always very difficult for those who are embodied. Krishna has straightforward said that. Straightforward comparison, Arjuna asked very clear question. Which form, which is better, impersonal worship or personal? Please tell me. Krishna very clearly said, those who are worshipping me in my personal form, they are perfect, he says. Right? And the impersonalists, they are actually undergoing a lot of trouble. Klesho adhikatarastesha. Avyaktahi gatir dukkham. Simply it is trouble. That's all. They are called the Jnanis. So the devotees are making progress very easily by doing personal service. So the meditation on the Paramatma feature of the Lord is what a devotee is doing. That is a Bhakti Yoga principle. Jnana Yoga means liberation from material condition. See, we are spirit soul, pure like water. But after mixing with this material nature, we have become contaminated with different kinds of anarthas. What are these anarthas? What is the main anartha? Lust, kama, or sex desire. This sex desire is manifesting in different forms, in the form of property, in the form of family, in the form of wealth, in the form of fame. This is an indirect manifestation of the sex desire. This hunger that is there for the living entity, that can be reduced by Bhakti Yoga principle. Just like if you eat nice food, your stomach will be full. But if I give you a little bit starter, then your hunger will increase more. You'll say, okay, you brought me the soup. Where is the food? Give me the food. Give me the food. You'll start shouting. Where is the food? Where is the food? So like that, unsatisfied lust, actually, it becomes more. Just like a fire. Putting ghee into a fire will make it more. It won't extinguish it. It becomes much more. You put some petrol inside, some fuel inside fire, what happens? It becomes much more, bigger fire. It was small fire before, now it become bigger fire. So the correct way of extinguishing this fire is not to satisfy our desires, but to do Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga means what? This is the process that Shukadeva Goswami is saying, no. Meditation on Paramatma, different limbs of the Lord, starting from the lotus feet to the face. These will be reduced. Anarthopashamanam. First of all, that sex desire will come down. And the indirect sex desire of accumulating property, family, wealth, fame, all this also will come down by doing the meditation upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, Bhakti Yoga is inclusive of Jnana also. Actually, it doesn't mean that the Bhaktas are losing out something by taking to the process of devotional service. No. The Jnana Yoga, what is the best that it has got to offer? It is offering impersonal liberation. That is liberation from the material conception of life. The Bhakti Yogas are already getting it. They are getting Anartha Nivrutti stage in the pure devotional service. Right? So Anartha Nivrutti that is what is liberation. What else? So Bhaktas, Bhakti Yoga can be performed at a liberation platform only. Unless one is liberated, they cannot perform Bhakti Yoga. Pure devotional service is not possible. So it includes, right? So this is not a meditation on void. Just like how the whole world, so many yoga studios, they want to promote this meditation on the void. They'll put a candle, or they will say, just imagine vacuum, and just, how can you meditate on vacuum? That's not possible. This is, either you meditate upon the Virat Rupa or on the Sachidananda Rupa. That is Lord Vishnu's Paramatma Rupa, Paramatma feature. These are the two options. If somebody is an impersonalist, voidist beginner, worship the or meditate upon the Virat Rupa. If somehow you are a devotee, then meditate upon the Paramatma feature. Right? So this is actually the deity worship. You know what we are doing? Deity worship. Why are we doing deity worship? What is this deity worship? What is the process that we are doing in deity worship? This is not idol worship. Like some fools are saying, this is idol worship. They don't have any idea what they are talking about. This is deity worship. That means Archa Vigraha Seva. Deity is the incarnation of the Lord. Archa Vigraha. Because I cannot see the Supreme Personality of Godhead with my naked eyes, the Lord has agreed to become visible to me in the form that I can see, in the form of a stone or in the form of picture. Because I cannot see with my eyes. This is not an idol. It's a deity. And what are the personalists doing? They're doing the deity worship in the morning, Mangala Arti. What are they doing? You start with the feet. How do you do the Arti? Agarbatti, you show, right? Totally you're showing 7 times. Or when you're showing the Deepa, you're showing and 4 times 2 times to the middle, 3 times in the head. You're starting with the feet. You're meditating upon the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. Right? You're meditating upon Narsimha's lotus feet. This is what is Shukadeva Goswami saying. Start from the feet. Proceed towards the calves. Next to the waist. Next to the torso. Next to the head. Don't jump directly to the head. The Srimad Bhagavatam also is the personal manifestation of the Supreme Personality of God. Each and every canto is one of the limbs of the Supreme Personality of God. And the 10th canto is very confidential knowledge. Krishna's pastimes are there, 91 chapters. So many chapters are there. Huh? And among that, the best are 5 chapters. That's called Rasa Panchaka. Rasa Leela dance is there. I cannot jump to it like that. Okay, let me just open the 10th canto, jump into Rasa dance. Yay. No. First, we must become purified. Those who are in a gross sense gratification platform, they must not jump to the 10th canto of Bhagavatam. That is why it is said, actually, the deity worship also has very lot of rules, because when you're doing deity worship in the temple, etc., a very materialistic person with full sense gratification is not allowed to do the deity worship of Radha Krishna or Vishnu deities. They are only asked to do Virat Rupa meditation. Okay, you meditate upon the Virat Rupa. Unless somebody is out of this sensual platform, you should not get into this Paramatma, worship. Deity worship in the temple at least. Of course, in the home we recommend to do it. Right? So because this needs purification. And coming to the phase of the phase or to relish this rasa dance activity, which is supposed to be the supermost Leela, the best Leela of the Supreme Personality of Godhead ever. You cannot jump to that. Right? But when we say don't do something, we feel like doing the same thing. Yes. That is our problem. So to relish this rasa dance pastime of the Lord, we must attain certain qualification. That is possible. What we have to do is, we have to purify ourselves through meditation on Virat Rupa and meditate upon the Paramatma feature. Then go from the canto number 1 to canto number 9. Slowly, read Bhagavatam. Slowly, take some time. First 2 cantos repeat many times. First 2 cantos, repeat. Then slowly you gradually proceed towards the 9th canto, 10th canto. Then you are, when you are completely sense gratification platform is gone, then you will understand Krishna. Or else a common man, if he jumps to rasa dance, he will definitely misunderstand and fall down. That is not the purpose of why Shukadeva Goswami gave to Parikshit Maharaj all these kind of Krishna stories. The purpose was liberation, not for some kind of entertainment. This is not entertainment. Right? So, let's go to the next verse. Yavanna jayate paravaresmin vishveshvara drashtari bhakti yogaha tavat staviya purushasya rupam kriyavasane prayata smareta. Unless the gross materialistic person develops a sense of loving service unto the Supreme Lord, the seer of both the transcendental and the material worlds, he should remember or meditate upon the universal form of the Lord at the end of his prescribed duties. So, yavanna jayate paravaresmin vishveshvare drashtari bhakti yoga tavat staviya purushasya rupam kriyavasane prayata smarita means, see, in the beginning, every living entity is in a gross materialistic state. Just like, asking, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. Like that, that is the gross materialistic state. Until we come to the loving devotional service platform, right, what we are supposed to be doing is meditate upon the universal form at the end of the prescribed duties. So after doing all our activities, we say, Kayena vacha manasaindriyairva buddhyatmakava prakrute svabhavat karomi yajjat sakalam parasmai narayanayeti samarpayami. Right? We just say that, We are offering yat karoti yajjuhosi yadashnasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya purushva mad arpanam. Offer your results to the Supreme Lord at the end of the work. This is how we meditate upon the supreme universal form of the Lord. Right? So, this is how we transcend, those impersonalists who are unable to render direct service to the Supreme Lord, who don't believe in God. They are meditating upon the impersonal feature, Virat Rupa. It's for the impersonalists, for the impersonal feature. Right? Then they will transcend to the next feature, that is Paramatma. Right? The Bhagavan comes later. Next, that comes, Krishna, 10th canto. It comes in the 10th. Bhagavan, Krishna's the Bhagavan Kayam Swayam. It comes in the 10th canto. We have to wait for it. Right? So, therefore, this is the process that has been recommended. Sthiram sukam cha sanamastito yatir yada jihasurima kale cha deshe cha mano na sajayet prana niyachen manasa jitasuhu. O king, whenever the yogi desires to leave this planet of human beings, he should not be perplexed about proper time or place, but should be comfortably sitting without being disturbed and regulating the life air, should control the senses by the mind. So, now Shukadeva Goswami is telling what one should be doing at the time of leaving the body. A yogi should not be disturbed. Oh, I'm going to die now. What will happen to me? What will happen to my property? No. Yogi should be like, should not be perplexed about this. No. Don't worry about, oh, what's the time now? It's 11 o'clock. It's 11 p.m. What is the day today? Bring the calendar. Today is Saptami. Oh my God. This is not Uttarayana. What will happen to me? No, we should not. Yogi should not be perplexed about that. Comfortably sit, regulating the life air, and control the senses with the mind. Try to leave the body in a full consciousness. Right? Go back to Godhead. The process is telling. Listen attentively. Manasva malamam yaniyamya kshetrajnayetam ninayetam atmani atmanam atmanyavarudya dhiro labho pashantir virameta krityat. Thereafter, the yogi should merge his mind by his unalloyed intelligence into the living entity and then merge the living entity into the super self. And by doing this, the fully satisfied living entity becomes situated in the supreme stage of satisfaction, so that he ceases from all other activities. This is called labhopashantir. So this is a process of a yogic meditation. Okay, how a yogi leaves his life air, right? How he voluntarily gives up his life, right? Voluntarily, he can decide the time of death. It's not that, he dies like a cat or a dog. I mean, suddenly the death will come and the cat or a dog will die in sleep. No. Yogi is doing this very advanced, right? So he's merging his mind, his intelligence into the Atma and Atma into the Paramatma. That's how, he is situated in a supreme stage of satisfaction. Right? All the material hankerings won't be there at that point of time for that yogi. Nayatra kalo animishan para prabhu kuto nu deva jagatam ya isire nayatra sattvam na narajas tamascha narvai vikaro namahan pradhanam. In that transcendental stage of Labhopashanti, there is no supremacy of devastating time which controls even the celestial demigods who are empowered to rule over the mundane creatures. And what to speak of the demigods themselves? Nor there is mode of material goodness, nor passion, nor ignorance, nor even false ego, nor the material causes ocean, nor the material nature. So this is called as Labhopashanti stage. In this stage, the yogi is no longer controlled by the kala or by the time. So basically, we are always controlled by the time. And the time, kala, is giving us the result of our karma. And who is giving that? With the help of the demigods. The demigods are the administrators who are giving us, rewards or punishments. They are giving us suffering or enjoyment based on our karma. And when the kala comes, based upon the trigger of the time. Right? So, but this stage will no longer exist for the person who is in full transcendental consciousness. Padam padam Vaishnavamanatita Janneti netit atat Utsirikshvat Visrujya Daurat Mayananya Saurda Hrudopahyarhada Padam Padai Pade. The transcendentalists desire to avoid everything godless, for they know that supreme situation in which everything is related with the Supreme Lord Vishnu. Therefore, a pure devotee who is in absolute harmony with the Lord does not create perplexities, but worships the lotus feet of the Lord at every moment, taking them into his heart. This transcendentalist, Param Padam Vaishnavam, right? So the great devotees, the great transcendentalists, they avoid everything which is not spiritual activity. They are established in 100% spiritual activities. They avoid the material activities because they know that everything is in relationship with Vishnu only. Either it is Vishnu or his Maya. So better than to serve the Maya is to serve Vishnu, because the results of serving the impermanent Maya is impermanent, but the result of serving the permanent Vishnu is permanent. So to understand what is Sat and what is Asat, what is true and what is false, what is temporary and what is permanent, this we must know. This a transcendentalist knows. What is the difference between a matter and a spirit? Transcendentalist knows. So every moment we are supposed to be worshipping the Supreme Lord, taking him inside our heart. Now, this is the instructions of Shukadeva Goswami, right? If you want to be liberated, worship the Supreme Lord by taking him inside the heart. Itam munistu paramedvyavastito vijnana drigvirya surandhitashaya Swaparshina gudam tato nilam sthaneshu shatsunnamaye jita klamaha. By the strength of scientific knowledge, one should be well situated in absolute realization and thus be able to extinguish all material modes of desires. One should give up the material body by blocking the air hole through which the stool is evacuated with the heel of one's foot and by lifting the life air from one place to another in the 6 primary places. This is called as the Shat Chakra Yoga. So, that yogi is sitting in a yogasana. Right now, I'm sitting on the floor in a yogasana, like Padmasana. So, blocking with the help of, sitting on the asana and blocking with the help of the feet, he's blocking his anus. And then he is bringing his life air upwards. There are 6 chakras. Right? Shat chakras are there. Right? Anahata chakra, different Sahasrara chakra. Like that, lift the prana by blocking first one and then bringing up Shat chakra and bringing to the top and then just leaving it outside. So this is called as a Shat chakra yoga. Okay. This is the yoga mishrita kind of a system. Right? The expert yogi can do it. But in the modern days, Kali Yuga, nobody can do this. It is not possible to do it in modern age. Please do not try it at home. Nabhyam stiram hridyadipotya tasmat udanagatyo rasitam nayen munihi tatonu sandhyaya dhiya manasvi svatalu moolam sanakair nayeta. The meditative devotees should slowly push up the life air from the navel to the heart, from there to the chest, and from there to the root of the palate. And he should search out for proper places with intelligence. Right? So there are different kinds of chakras. Right? One is called Swadhisthana chakra, Manipuraka chakra, Anahata chakra, Vishuddhi chakra, Sahasrara chakra. Like that, a yogi will pull up his life air. Right? And he will search out for the destination, where to go. An intelligent yogi would like to go back to Godhead, the supreme destination, right? Person who is not trained in devotional service, he may be attracted by some other material world, some other planetary system, and he will again fall down. So, this is the purpose of yoga, right? So let me read one more verse, 21st verse. Tasmad dhruvorantaраmunnayeta niruddha saptayatana anepekshaha sitva murtardamakunta drishti nirbidya murdhan visrijet param gataha. Therefore, the bhakti yogi should push the life air up between his eyebrows and then blocking the 7 outlets of life air, he should maintain his aim for going back to Godhead. If he is completely free from all desires for material enjoyment, he should reach the cerebral hole and give up his material connections, having gone to the Supreme. Right? So there are 7 holes, right, by which the life air can pass out, through the eyes or ears or through the mouth or through the nose or through the anus or through the genitals. It's considered that if the life air passes through the lower part of the body, then that person has gone to the lower destination. Upper portion of the body has gone to the higher destination. Right? And not even the upper parts also, not even through eyes or through ears or through mouth. Is the recommendation here by Shukadeva Goswami is give up through the cerebral hole. There is a cerebral hole here called Sahasrara Chakra. It's a soft, it will be there here. Okay, the yogis, that cerebral hole will break. They'll leave the life air through that. Right? And then where should be going? The Bhakti Yogi, where he should go? Param Gataha. He should go to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He should go to the Parama Gataha. Right? So that is how it should be doing. So this is what we have done today. Right? So this is the purpose of yoga. So yoga system is not meant for learning and becoming slim and thin. That's just there. Yeah, that's like external benefits, side effects. That's not the main purpose of yoga. That I want to become a yoga trainer and earn money and make others slim. No, this is not actually the purpose of yoga. That's why Bhagavad Gita is said as Yoga Shastre. It's Yoga Shastra. It's the science of yoga. And Lord Krishna is called as Yogeshwara. Tatra Yogeshwara Krishna. Yogeshwara. Master of the mystics. And what are we doing then? Then why are we chanting? Why don't we sit down and do asanas? No. We are doing Bhakti Yoga. Topmost yoga system. Yoginam api sarvesham madgate antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamo matah. The Yogeshwara, master of mystics, who is the author of Yoga Shastra, Bhagavad Gita, he is telling in conclusion in the 6th chapter, 47th verse, that among all the yogis, Yoginam api sarvesham madgate antaratmana. Means among all the yogis, the topmost yogi is the Bhakta, a devotee. And this Srimad Bhagavatam is a textbook of Bhakti Yoga. It's a textbook of Bhakti Yoga. It's the topmost yogis. Shukadeva Goswami is the topmost yogi. Parikshit Maharaj is the topmost yogi. Everybody, all the stories that are mentioned in Bhagavatam are topmost yogis. Right? So this is the topmost yoga system that we have to be aware of. Just like when we talk about the Himalayas, we are not talking about the tiny, small Himalaya mountains. No. There are some mountains also in Himalayas which are very, very tiny, small. No, we don't care about such mountains. We are talking about the Mount Everest, the tallest mountain. Similarly, whenever Krishna says yoga, he is referring to Bhakti Yoga, the topmost yoga system. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you very much for joining today's class. Hare Krishna. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Hare Krishna. Thank you for
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.